it's your girl, Coach Kelly from the Coach Kelly Speak Show. Welcome to another episode. Well, today is Monday. We are here live at Listen Vision Studios in Washington, D.C. If you look at my set today, I have all of these amazing books that I have purchased within the last month. And on Saturday, I did the pink carpet correspondent for the Boss Lady Brunch. It was off the chain. We was at the Hyatt Place on New York Avenue, and there were women from all over the United States who are bossing it up, who are boss chicks, who are doing it big, who are lady bosses, as Rochelle Wilson would say. Millennial bosses. We had so many honorees, so many different ladies that I had the opportunity to interview. And so all of these books represent a part of the show and different women who I have highlighted on my show. And so today's show is all about being a author. It's all about books that I have personally read, and I believe that you have to sow where you want to go. In order to go to the next direction and the next dimension of your life, you want to make sure that you have seed in the ground. You don't want to be a person who just always believe in receiving. And I was doing a study on social media marketing, and one of the things that they say the most is that you want to make sure that you are supportive. You want to make sure that you are supporting other people projects. You want to make sure that you are reposting other people's information, because this is the year of unity and this is the year of collaborations. I'm looking to collaborate with other entrepreneurs who are winning and doing it big. And so this first book, I've literally started doing this 6 steps to 6-figure book on today. And I wrote down all of my goals. I wrote down all of the different things that I needed to do today, and I got them done. I do believe in journaling. I do believe that this is a time for us to go to the next dimension. All of the ladies that are presented on today, I also have Madiwa Noel's book, The Material Girl. She was just here 2 weeks ago, and she launched her book just last Saturday. So I went and covered some of her books. If you follow me on the Coach Kelly Speak Show, you'll see. I also have my book, Yes, You Are a Champion, Turning Everyday Challenges into Victory, woo woo, which was my very first book. And then I also have Pastor Dr. Don Harvey's book, Marriage Unbreakable, War on Divorce. She will be one of the speakers for our Christmas party on Sunday. If you have not registered, head over to the Eventbrite / Push Into Purpose PK Girls Empowerment Events. Go onto our page, and on the link, you'll get the awesome opportunity to attend. It's open to the public. It's absolutely free. If the VIP is $25 and the general admission is free. And we have a toy drive, and we are sending toys to Haiti. I also covered Dr. Sharon Cradle's event. Just on yesterday, she launched 2 amazing projects, a Southside State of Mind, and also Mind Your Mind, #Think About It. And so these amazing women, Janai Childress, she was just here, I guess, a couple of months ago, and not even a couple of months ago. It could have been maybe a month and a half ago. And so today it's all about us highlighting authors. Today on the show, I have my mother on the show. She is launching her first book, and we are so excited to highlight her book, Motivational Gift, Pathways to Your Divine Purpose. And so we'll be right back after this commercial, and she'll be right up.
people give up because they don't think they're good enough.
So why do you think people give up on their dreams or any part of life?
I think people have a tendency to give up on their hopes and dreams and aspirations due to, some might say, defeat. But in defeat, there's also a lesson to be learned, and I think a lot of times, if we draw on the lessons of defeat, it actually can give you enough fuel to overcome any and everything. But ultimately, it comes down to just feeling sorry for oneself, having self-doubt, and ultimately losing focus and belief in oneself.
So oftentimes people give up. What do you think the reason is?
I feel like people give up because they're scared to fail. And, failure is like a big reason to why people don't try as hard, or they don't want to see like the end result. So I think that's why people give up.
Thank you. So why do you think people give up on their dreams?
I think people give up because of time and because of listening to other people. They think because if you want to be a singer, you can't make it in that business, or it's really, really hard. Or even when you get older, after a certain age, as a kid, you're in high school, so you have all these big dreams, big imagination, and you're like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. And then you get even older, you're in college, you're like, well, I can do this, but I can make more money in this. And then you're like, okay, well, I kind of got to change it. I like this, but I'm gonna take a little bit out of it and try my hardest to make some money. And then you get even older, and you're like, I just need to make a living. So then you kind of give up because you need to survive. You need to make a living. You need to help your family. And now you have a family. Now you have a house or an apartment or something like that, and you have no money. So it's harder to say, well, I got to chase my dream, but do I eat first? It's a little different. And you listen to everybody else. Everybody's telling you no, and you take it and you run with it, and you're like, well, maybe it's just not for me. No, it wasn't for them. It's just a little harder, but that doesn't mean stop.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Coach Kellie Speak Show. I am here with author, motivational speaker, and mentor, Patrina Makins.
Well, hello, Coach Kellie.
How are you?
I am very well.
Looking
Thank you.
so
Thank
beautiful.
Thank you. Of course, you keep me to all the way together.
Yeah.
This is one of your pieces from Successful Looks.
Absolutely.
I got a lot of compliments today.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Yeah, always. I definitely am honored to have you on the show today. I think this is your second time on. I know that you conducted, was a guest host, and you did an amazing job. And so today it's all about authors and celebrating authors. And this is your day to be celebrated. And on Sunday, we are celebrating the launch of your book. So tell us about yourself firstly.
I'm your mom. No. It's more to me than 3 children. I am very excited about being on the show today. My name is Patrina Makins, and I'm just so excited. As you had mentioned, I'm launching my book, Motivational Gift Pathway to Your Divine Purpose. Then I have several other book projects lined up as well as a result of this particular book. It's just amazing to accomplish such an awesome goal. It's not about me, publishing the book to make money, but it's about changing lives. It's about being able to sow into the lives of other people who not sure what their purpose is in life. And that's what the book is mainly about. And like I said, and I have 3 adult children. My oldest daughter name is Kellie Thompson. She has 2 wonderful children I'm happy to call my grandsons. My oldest son is a music producer in Houston, Texas. And my youngest son, he is an amazing actor in LA. And I have 2 granddaughters from him, so I'm a grandmother. I know I don't look like a grandma, but, but I'm a grandma, and I'm so excited about that. I'm really excited about everything that's happening in my life so far. But I would tell you it was not always that way. Growing up and going to elementary school, I hated going to school because I used to be bullied every single day. And if anybody know about Washington, D.C., there was, if you lived in the hood, it was some robberies going on. So where I live directly across the street from Southeast Washington, D.C., and I so happened to be one of the student kids who, in the neighborhood, would travel from northeast to the southeast side. So, of course, they were there waiting for me, and I used to have to fight every day. So I used to lie and tell my parents that I was sick, just so I didn't have to go to school. And unfortunately, so many children today are going through that same process, of being bullied and not wanting to go to school. And it's like there's some data out there to say 160,000 kids stay home every day because they're afraid because they're being bullied. So, but so I ended up, graduating from, missed a lot of school. I graduated from night school, and I was pregnant with you. And so I stayed home for, to, raise you for a couple years. And then I went back to school to get my master's, I went back to school to create a better situation for you and, your brothers. And so I currently have a master's degree in education. So the thing that I hated is the thing that I absolutely love today.
That is awesome.
So that's what I'm doing today. As you had mentioned, I'm a motivational speaker, launching my first book, Motivational Gift Pathway to Your Divine Purpose. And one thing, I was afforded the opportunity to know what my motivational gift are by taking a test. And one of my motivational gifts is exhortation. So you see me on Facebook posting and encouraging people. I love doing that because that's one of my motivational gifts. It's not just something that I, decide to do, but I am what I do. I motivate. I encourage always. You're not going to be in my presence and then leave the same way, So I guess, that's what I want to share.
Amazing story, amazing testimony. I think a lot of times people don't know. They see you and they see where you are today, but they have no idea what happened to get to that place. And so for you, what was the hardest thing that you had to do in order to become the person that you are today?
I had to sacrifice a lot of my time. As I had mentioned, I lost a lot of time at school because I was being bullied. And as I got older and going, graduating from high school, it was really challenging because I had to compensate, from the time I lost in school. So I recall taking a temporary job position and with the temp agency. So I worked there for about maybe less than a year. And then I decided to start my own temporary agency.
Wow.
Because I I refused to work for someone and, it's just the entrepreneurship in me. My dad, he was an entrepreneur. He always, he had a trucking company and everything. So that was, in my vein. So in working in that position, working at the temp agency, let me just back up a moment. Working at the agency, they really liked my work, so they decided to hire me full time. So they called it a gopher job, but I called it an opportunity for me to reinvent myself. And that's exactly what I did. So during the time when everyone else was eating lunch, I was back in the computer room learning how to use Microsoft Office, the Word, and, increase my skills and everything. And so one day I thought about it. I said, you know what, let me eliminate this middleman. Because as you know, with the temp agency, You know, there's someone who make a telephone call to the agency or corporate business. They would call the temp agency, and they would say, well, I need, administrative assistant. And then they would call the administrative assistant that works for the temp agency, who happened to be myself at that particular time. And, you go on assignment. So I decided to create BOH system, and was called because of him in 1996. And 2007 is very successful, which so that was the thing, just reinventing myself. That was a very challenging time, but yet a rewarding time, for me. So
That is so exciting, because a lot of times you find people who are entrepreneurs, but they'll take a position, or sometimes they won't even be able to find a position that really fits them. And I always say that sometimes we're waiting on someone to employ us, but sometimes we have to employ ourselves and empower ourselves and create an opportunity for ourselves to grow, and have that. Being as though I've been an entrepreneur for the last 18 years, I could not imagine myself doing anything else. So I understand when I'm coaching people, or I'm talking to individuals about them having that dream and, going from, which is so significant that you went from working for a temp agency to creating one. I think that's so significant that at a young age you were able to locate your motivational gift.
Yeah, I was afforded the opportunity to take that test, some years ago. And there are 7 motivational gifts. And a lot of times, said the 7 are: one is administration, organization, the other one is teaching, mercy, giving, serving, exhortation, and prophecy. So, once I learned what my motivational gifts are, it just solidified some of the things that I was already doing. Because administration is one of the things that helped me launch my staffing company, because it was already on the inside of me. The organization piece that goes along with that was already on the inside of me. So I submitted myself to God. I humbled myself by taking that position at that temp agency. And the word tells us, when you humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, he will exalt you in due season. So when my season came to be exalted, I already knew the industry, because I was working in the industry. So that's why sometimes it's so important for people to just go ahead and volunteer. So where you want to go.
Good.
The word said, whatever we make happen for somebody, God's going to make happen for you. And that's what happened. I was able to employ people who nobody else gave opportunity, because I found myself in a situation similar to that. I know what it was like, and so that's amazing. Isn't that amazing when you really think about it?
It is.
Because the gifts and talents God gave them to us, abilities. He gave that to us. He gave one man 10 talents and 5 and 2 and so forth. But, those 2 who had the least, they did the least with their gifts. One buried their gift, and then one sat on it. And then the other one, he multiplied it. So when you make yourself available, we always talk about the word that talks about that God is able to do the exceedingly abundantly above all we're able to ask or think. But guess what? It's according to the power that work on the inside of you. You got to activate the power. And then, a lot of times we talk about faith. That I have faith, But then you ask, what is faith? Faith is acting on what you believe. So, girl, you want to ask me another question, because I can keep going.
No, it's good. It's really good that you are in line to where you're going and where you're heading. A lot of people are really rolling the dice. You have something, so you're just rolling the dice, but don't know exactly, and a good gambler, they know exactly how to throw the dice. It's calculated. They know if I throw it this way, it's gonna do this, and if I turn it that way, it's gonna do this.
Right.
But being able to set yourself in alignment to where you're going, I think that is very significant going into 2018.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. The Bible tells us we fearfully, we wonderfully made. We are the handiwork of God, and God created us for his purpose and for his praise. So if God created us in his likeness and in his very image, he's not going to allow us to be here without giving us what we need. He said, I give you everything that pertains to life and godliness, okay? So with that, he gave us gifts, right? He gave us these gifts. He gave us the talents and these abilities, and we need to go back to our creator, the one who made us.
Go back to the manual.
Go back to it. Go right back to it. And that's exactly what I did. And I was able to pull on that. Even though I had, in the natural, I had some deficiencies. But because I allowed God to put his super on my natural by, receiving the gifts that he gave me, then, it worked out well. And that's good.
I
That's
believe
good.
that it works out. I believe that it works out when you work it.
Yeah, when you,
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
believe that when you sit idle, even on a good idea, even on a God idea,
Right.
without movement, without working on it, it's dead.
Exactly.
It's dead. And I see a lot of times, especially in coaching, I see a lot of times we get an idea, we go to a conference, we get excited, and then we go home, and the very notes that we wrote, a lot of times, the dust begins to settle and you never do anything with it. And so, it's amazing to see with all of the different things that we're working on and different events. And, we did 3 events just this week. And just to sit back and see all of the different people that were, that we talked to, we interviewed, and we were able to talk around and talk to them, just seeing that people are paying attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah, an impact is
Absolutely.
being made.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's done on purpose, success. Even with my children, the word tells us that our children are like arrows in our hands, that as parents, it's our responsibility to point them in the direction they're supposed to go in. So it was a no-brainer for me because I was able to tap in and see what was on the inside of my children. I have a king, I have a prophet, and I have a priest. And I was able to see their God-given abilities and talents. And I said, what is it that you want to do in life? Let me support that. Let me help you facilitate that. And I remember, with your hair, you wanted to you didn't really know at the particular time that you really wanted to pursue, not that I knew of anyway, that you wanted to pursue the beauty industry. But the thing is, I knew you had that inside of you. I knew because, clients, your friends used to come over to the house and get their hair done. And I remember I said, Kellie, what is it that you want to do? And you had a partial scholarship with Edward Waters University in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. But I was like, what is it that you want to do? And you said, Mommy, I want to do hair. I said, okay, let's get the best beauty school so that you can go there. And I tell you, you went there and you sold there. Soared. Your whole business, your whole career just took off. And I told you, you sit in the front because those who are in the front get the most.
Yes,
And I gave you some, advice, and that's one thing I really love about you because you listen. You listened to my instructions as I was leading and guiding you. And as a result of, you didn't worry about some of the students. She's brown nosed, and then Mr. Dudley would put you in front of the class and teach you.
I think brown nosing is really, it seems almost like a bad thing, but, in the kingdom, the way up is down. You know what I mean? A lot of times people think that they don't want to start out. In starting, they don't want to sweep the floor. You know, in starting, and a lot of people fail to realize that I would stay later. You know, I would stay later and help my fellow classmates. Before I even took the instructional class, I would take the time out to make sure I would tutor. And I think the part that a lot of people don't understand or realize about a lot of successful people is that they don't see what's going on in the unseen arena. And I believe that the unseen arena, or that place of humility, or that place of sweat equity, or that place where it seemed like you're getting a short end of the stick, it could appear like you've missed out, or you're gonna miss out,
or someone taking advantage of you.
Yeah, somebody taking advantage of you. But it's not someone taking advantage of you. It's you taking advantage of the opportunity to serve.
Yes.
And if the Bible says that the greatest is a servant, you're giving yourself a promotion every time you serve.
Yeah, you know, and also what you make happen for somebody else, God would make happen for you. That's a biblical principle.
Yeah.
So when you tap into the resources, the principle, and the gifts and talent and ability that God has given unto you, your turn is you're gonna be next. You know, and the thing is, it's going back to what your school, and as a result of that, Mr. Dudley, you got favor from him. He called you his product knowledge girl. You know, and then today you created your own lip line. In fact, I'm wearing, what's the name of this lipstick I got on?
It looks
it's a lip gloss.
Yeah, it looks like a lip gloss. It looks like a vivid emotion.
Yeah. So I remember, you know, when we were downtown, and then it was a some studio or place. You was like, "Mom, let's go in here." And inside there, this guy, he was telling you about how you can actually, you know, start your product line, and you know.
Oh, that was favor. You know, I really believe that favor surrounds you like a shield. I just believe that, and I was just talking to someone about a vision that I had. I woke up and I was in this garden almost, and I was aligning my seeds, and I was walking and just going throughout like this huge field. And a lot of times as a farmer, when you're a farmer, you're around the dirt and the soil. You know what I mean? You're deep, you're down and dirty. But in order to see and walk through your seed, you have to align your seed in order. You don't. A real farmer is not just throwing the seeds out. They have them in a row. They have them aligned in a row. And I believe for myself is that when I was there, I can see seeds that I sowed. And the seed that I sowed, they're going to germinate. And as they germinate, they'll produce more seeds. It's like if you sow one apple seed, you have sown a forest of apple trees. And so don't discount that one seed that is sown, because it's going to germinate. If you put it in the right ground at the right time with enough sunlight and enough water, it is going to germinate, and you won't be able to even be able to count the seeds that it will produce. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I pray that this book for you could be used as a resource even for Bible studies.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it's an instructional book.
Yeah, it's very biblical based. As I had mentioned, you know, because I was just posting on Facebook because I love to encourage someone. I love to motivate them. That has always been a part of who I am. Just to do that. And I remember when the Holy Spirit told me, you know, go ahead and start writing this book. So out of my gift that God has given me, produced this opportunity to write the book and to share with so many people. So I'm excited about that because, you know, the Bible says that, I believe I said this earlier, that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. You know, and I would tell you that not only that I that God gave me this one book, told me to write this one book, because one thing we know about, there are 3 types of spiritual gifts. So motivational gift, Pathway to Your Divine Purpose, is essentially this focus on the 7 motivational gifts that I had mentioned. But then there are 2 other gifts. There's a gift of manifestation, where the word of wisdom, prophecy, and all of those gifts, healings, and but then there also to get the gifts of a ministry gift, the 5-fold ministry gifts. So, and I have a chapter in there to help, where it's talked about being able to differentiate the spiritual gifts, because a lot of times people get a gift of motivation. They get it confused with the 5-fold ministry gift, and because their gifts are similar. So we have the gift of prophecy is a motivational gift, which I flow in that gift. And then also we have in the 5-fold ministry gift is a prophet. Just because you flow in the gift of prophecy does not mean that you're called to become a prophet. And then also in the motivational gift, teaching. You have the motivational gift of teaching. You teach well, but that doesn't mean that you called to the office of a teacher. Wow. So this chapter that I have in there, it helps you to know the difference between the 3 gifts. And then there is also it's like a workbook, as it's like a workbook where you can actually do a reflection and write down as you go along. And also there's a chapter in there that talks about your motivational gift being your passport to your purpose, And this, and also another chapter talks about how to flow in your motivational gift. Mm-hmm. And so it gives you biblical examples of people who actually flow in their motivational gift. And we know the connection between Timothy and Paul. Paul, he said he saw he was operating in the gift of encouragement. Mm-hmm. when it seemed as though Timothy he forgot all about the gifts was on the inside of him. Yeah. His gifts had gone dormant. So he said, "Hey Timothy, stir up the gifts that's on the inside of you. Mm-hmm. By the laying on a hand that you received from your grandmother, Lois, and whoever it was, his mama and mom and everybody. He had some stuff on the inside of him that went dormant. So my purpose in writing a book is to cause your baby to leap on the inside of you. Wow. Because I know it is the order of God that to raise up a man or a woman of God to help you go to the next level in life. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth and Mary, they came together. And then Mary, because when she got into Elizabeth's presence, the baby on the inside of Elizabeth leaped. So that book is designed to help stir up the gift on the inside of you. And then there's a chapter also where you can actually find out what your gifts are. And if you at the book signing, whoever come to the book signing, that's going to be an activity that we're going to do there, so you can know what your gifts are, your spiritual, your motivational gifts are. And so going back just a little bit, out of that, this getting on Facebook and this posting those daily, I call them newsflash inspirations of the day, those quotes birthed a book. That was not my intention to get on Facebook so I can write a book. No, it was not. Right. But out of that gift came, my purpose. Mm-hmm. So I have several other books I'm going to write about the manifestation gifts of the Spirit. I'm going to talk more about the 5-fold ministry gifts, and there's a chapter in there that, I'm sorry, you can see I'm excited, right?
Yeah.
All of this is God. This came from God. This definitely came from God.
You should be excited.
I'm really excited.
It's a huge accomplishment.
With Paul, with Saul on his road to Damascus, we always talk about his experience on the road to Damascus. But I will let you know that he could not go to Damascus, because Damascus was the Damascus experience where he started his ministry in Damascus. Yeah. But see, he had purpose in his heart, and I believe that's why he was the chosen one. But his purpose, he was blind. He really was. His purpose wasn't clear because he persecuted the church. He thought that was his purpose. So in order for him to go to the masses to fulfill this purpose, he had to get a straight up encounter with God, and that happened on the street called Straight.
Yeah, I love that.
So I
You
think
on your way to do something, and here comes this detour, and now you on your purpose. That's amazing.
yeah, it was definitely a detour because he had to say, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And then he was like, well, who are you that I persecute? He said, I'm Jesus.
Wow.
You know, so he automatically, you know, his eyes was open, but he was blind. He was blind. And then a lot of people say, I'm in my purpose. A lot of people not in their purpose because they had scales on their eyes. They're blind. But once you get into the presence of God, once you begin to allow him to minister to you, let you know exactly what it is that you're called to do. Because Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the thoughts and plans I have for you, of peace and not of evil, to give you a purpose. To give you purpose. Your purpose is locked into God. And the 7 motivational gifts, I call them your marketplace gifts.
All right. Break it down.
Those are gifts that you use on your job. You know, a lot of times you think, you know, well, anyway, you should think that. But, you know, you are good in something. You're good in accounting. You're good in organization, administration. You know that gift has taken you from a receptionist until, you know, a director in the government.
Yes.
You know, so I call those your marketplace gifts.
Yeah.
You know, so most nurses, they call them angels of mercy. So you find a lot of nurses will have the gift of mercy, you know, and then again, teachers, a lot of teachers will have the gift of teaching. You know, and that's how it is. That's how it all operates, you know. So I'm excited about that book. You can go on to Eventbrite and pre-order your book, Push Into Purpose.
You can order the book, and we also have a toy drive.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because I can keep talking about my book the whole show.
So let's get into Sunday's events.
I'm excited about that.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm noticing, you know, the ladies are excited and they're registering. If you have not registered for the Push Into Purpose Christmas party, do it today.
Do it now.
It is $20.
Yeah, you make.
I have to clear that up. It's $20 for general admission and $25 for VIP. Right?
Yes,
$25. And we have a place for you to drop off your toy donation, 6500 Old Branch Avenue, Camp Springs, Maryland. Making sure that they're unwrapped gifts. We are looking from the age of, is it
0 to 17?
0 to 17 years old.
Boy or girl.
Boy or girl. And if you want to haul off and buy something for every age, we'll take that as well.
As Kelly, I just want to jump in. Our nonprofit is called the Not My Kids Foundation. That's another book going to be birthed real soon. I'm done with that one. But that is about my journey. That's about my children. And somebody said the worst place you can find yourself is between a mama and their kids. You don't mess with a mama kid. I don't care if it's an animal, it's a dog, frog, cat, or whatever. You better not mess with nobody kids.
Know, I've seen moms, growing up in the hood, I've seen moms, run for their kids in rollers. And it's like sometimes if you see someone messing with your kids, I think it goes beyond even human consciousness.
Yes.
I think you just lose it. I have seen moms fighting for their kids. I've just seen, it's nothing like that relationship with your baby.
So with that, the Not My Kids Foundation Incorporated, we are a 501(c) nonprofit organization. So all your gifts that you give are tax deductible. You're just tax deductible. We'll give you a letter. at the end of the year, where you can write that off in your taxes. And also, we choose a foundation every year. And this year, we chose Tree Angels,
Yes,
of
yes,
Haiti.
yes.
And with Trina Ferguson, her mission, we know that Haiti has been through a lot of hurricanes devastation that happened there. And so what they do in their organization, they collect funds and they go to Haiti and they plant trees, and which is really, really awesome, mission. So we wanted to support that mission. And I recall reaching out to Trina and asking her about their foundation. Would they be interested in, just telling them that we chose that organization this year to be recipients of the toys that we're going to collect. And so she said they usually don't take toys, right?
Wow.
She said, but the day I called her the night before, she had a conversation with the director, and the director said, we need to get some toys. So we know that was the will of God. So we need you guys to really help us make this happen for them, because this is a desire of someone's heart who are in the trenches doing mission. It's a mission that they have. So we want to support that mission. And also on eventbrite.com, PK Girls Pushing to Purpose, there is also a donate button on there. So if you cannot come, go ahead and donate to the toy drive.
Yes, donate to the toy drive. As we know, Haiti is one of the most impoverished countries in the world, and we want to serve as a blessing. We also had sent money and
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
A lot of our girls, PK girls in Miami, Florida, our girls there, they're from Haiti, they're from Jamaica. So we were able to, have fundraisers and support them as well.
Yeah.
I'm still directing it, although I'm sitting on this side of the table. So we have like 5 minutes left.
Well, I'm just so excited. I can't wait for Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
Just to meet different people. Every time we do an event.
Oh, wait. We have the fantastic, dynamic celebrity chef, Raquel Divine is going to cook it up for us and show us how to do it and create a nice holiday meal.
Yes,
and that's why you got, this event, it costs. So, $20, $25, you want VIP. It's nothing that's free. It's an investment.
It's an investment.
Because we have Dawn Harvey as well. I'm glad she was able to, be a part of that. Where she is really going to talk about the holidays, because during that time, people are depressed.
Yes.
So we want you to, be healthy during this time. So she's going to share some things, some techniques how you can be healthy during that time, because some people lost their parents, children, or whatever. While we celebrating, some people they are grieving. I talked to this lady at one of the events that I attended this past weekend. She said her parents were married 64 years. So I think she probably almost at she's like 50. She probably like 65. I'm gonna say she's almost that age. But it was a very sensitive time for her.
Yeah, I don't think you ever really truly get over the death of a loved one.
So we're going to have her there. Could you tell them about how they going? I just told them. So if you tell them again.
You can go straight to our PK Girls. If you just go into Eventbrite/PK Girls.
Or Pushing to Purpose.
Or Pushing to Purpose Christmas party. Go straight to the link. You'll see it. You can also pre-order my mom's book. And you can also leave a donation. And don't forget you also can drop off your toys in advance.
But we want you guys to come, because anybody ever attended PK Girls Pushing to Purpose empowerment events, or Coach Kellie Girls Night Out, we know how to throw a party. We know we had you in there crying and hugging and kissing and meeting friends and everything, restoring relationships.
We definitely are a bridge.
Yes.
We're definitely a bridge.
It's a network to bring women together, because to eradicate the myth that women cannot get along.
Yeah, we get along.
We can get along.
Yeah, we get along.
So we need to.
And so we are so excited. We will see you on Sunday, and thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Of course, thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so we are signing off, and we will see you on next week on the Coach Kellie Speak Show.
No, we'll see you Sunday.
Oh, yeah, see you Sunday.
Bye-bye.